right. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to Tuesday Talk with Dr. Yaz. That's right. We're a little late, but guess what? Better late than never. We are here on time, a little late, but we are here. And thanks for joining in for the March session of Tuesday Talk with Dr. Yaz. You are in the right place. That's right. We are going to talk about it tonight. It is the last Tuesday of March. Be sure to share and like the video. Talk to us in the chat. If there's anything you want to ask us on tonight, let us know where you are airing from. All right, I see Aunt Marcia. So glad to have you join us on tonight. But that's right, Tuesday Talk with Dr. Yaz. It's every month, the last Tuesday of each month around 8 p.m. We had some technical difficulties that we had to work through, but we were able to work through it. And we're going to go ahead and get started. I see my sister India. What's up, girl? Thanks for joining in on tonight. She's coming in from Atlanta. Our topic from tonight, hey mom, how are you? Our topic for tonight is single ladies. That's right. You heard it. Single ladies love relationships and dating. Now, last year we had opportunity to talk to single men, and that went well. So I definitely want to come back this year to highlight single ladies. So everyone on this platform will single. So hey, you see something you like, here's something you like. Hit us up in our DM. You all know who I am. I'm Yasmin, Whirl, the host of the show, creator of the show. Thanks for joining in. Coming live from Macon, Georgia. We're also coming live from the state of Michigan. Our guest host, Bishop James Johnson. He had some ministry obligations to take care of this evening, but he's almost home. So once he gets home and gets settled and logged in, he's going to be the guest host on tonight. We want to go ahead and get started as well. But again, thank you for tuning in on tonight. I see cousin Cheryl. What's up, girl? So glad to have you join us on tonight. But I'm going to get started with introductions. I don't have any statistics. Normally I start out with statistics, but we know being single is something that we all have experienced at one point in our life. Some of you all are watching. Hey, cousin Stephanie, how are you? Some of you all may be married, but before you were married or maybe divorced and maybe widowed, you spent some time in your life being single. There are many people in the USA or in other countries that are single, that are not married. Some choose to remain single. Some choose to just date. All right, from Mississippi, Miss Phyllis Caples Thomas, thank you for joining in on tonight. So people are single for various reasons. So we're just gonna talk about have a wide scope of questions to ask on tonight. But that's right, some of you are single, so let's keep each other covered and encouraged. You know, marriage is something that I desire. I've never been married, of course. So all I know is living a single life. If it happens, great. If it doesn't, I'm good. You know, I'm just at that place. I'm at a peace. There was a time I didn't like that status, but I grew to like it. So I'm in a good place. See, I've dated. I was engaged for a short minute, not long, years ago. But I celebrate whatever status you are in, single, married, divorced, widow, dating, engaged, whatever status you're in. That's where you at. And I say, make the best of it. But again, be sure to like and to share the video on tonight. We're going to go ahead and get started with our introductions of the panelists. Some beautiful ladies on this panel on tonight. Our first panelist is none other than evangelist Wanda Caples. Wanda Michelle Caples, born and raised in Mississippi, the eldest of 5 children, educated, gifted, and purpose-driven. Ms. Caples obtained an undergraduate degree from the Jackson State University in Jackson, Mississippi, with a Bachelor of Science degree in Special Education. She has 2 master's degrees, a Bachelor of Art degree in Human and Social Services, and a Master of Business Administration from Walden University. Called to preach and teach the gospel of Jesus Christ in 2007, Ms. Caples has devoted herself to the ministry of help, serving the kingdom in many capacities. Ms. Caples currently works as a 3rd grade math teacher at the Wilkinson County Elementary School. She has worked in the field of education for about 20 years in various capacities. She sings, has a beautiful voice, loves arts and crafting, riding her bike, cooking, mouth-watering dishes. You hear that, guys? And quiet evenings on the porch. Welcome to the show, Miss Caples.
Thank you.
Our next panelist is none other than Felicia LaTanya Goodson. Her family and friends call her by her middle name, Tanya. She is a mother of two young men, Jaden, who's a sophomore at Georgia Southern University, and Jordan, who's a junior at Wilkinson County High School. She was born and raised in East Dublin and a proud 1998 graduate of East Lawrence High School. She is a graduate of Macon State College, a receptionist at a busy specialist office in Macon. Tanya, the owner and operator of Tanya's Tasties. Check her out on Facebook, where life is sweet in every bite of cupcake, cake, cookie, strawberry, and more. Hey, Miss Evans, thank you for joining in with us on tonight. We went to college together, both alumni of Georgia Southwestern State University in Americas. Tanya's hobbies include spending time with family and friends, enjoying her boys when they have time for her, LOL, cooking, of course, baking. She too sings, praising the Lord and enjoying life to the fullest. Welcome to the show. Next, we have Miss Tina Ville Morel. Tina is 48 years old, mother of a 25 and 24-year-old sons, born in Baldwin County, Millersville, Georgia. She has been a lifelong resident of Gordon, Georgia. Tina is a 1993 graduate of Wilkinson County High School. Shout out to all the 1993 graduates.
93.
Classmates. She's also a 2016 graduate of Virginia College. She's a licensed cosmetologist and PCA personal care assistant. Hobbies, shopping, spending time with her family, listening to music, riding solo, keeping her nails, her hair, her nails and toes done, and keeping up with the latest fashion. When you see Tina, Tina is sharp, I tell you. I love to see her fashion that she expresses in her hair and her dress. Keeping up with the latest fashions, a bit of a fashionetta, nothing wrong with that girl, having family functions, social media, taking pictures, passion, doing hair. She has a passion for doing hair, caring for the elderly, just helping people in general, a God-fearing woman who believes all things are possible through Christ, our Savior. Tina is outgoing and an outspoken person, an extrovert, a people's person. She definitely is that. Caring, kind-hearted, don't mind helping people, compassionate, easy to talk to. She definitely is easy to talk to. She always tries to see the good in people and finds the silver lining in every situation. I like that. Tina was married for 15 years and has been a widow for 12 years. Welcome to the show, Miss Morel. Glad to have you on tonight.
Hi. Hi, ladies.
Hi.
Our next panelist is Miss Yarnice Strange. Born and raised in Detroit, Michigan, Yarnice is a graduate of Case Tech High School and later received a Bachelor of Science degree in psychology with a minor in criminal justice from the Albany State University.
Alabama State.
Yes, sir. What did I say?
Albany.
Albany.
Alabama.
I'm so sorry. He is not a graduate of Albany. I don't know why I said, because in your bio it says Alabama. Let's make that correction. Not Albany, not the Albany State University
Mike
Rams.
Marching Hornets.
Keep it straight. From Alabama State University. I apologize about that. I don't know where Albany State come from. She has been employed with the Michigan Department of Corrections for the past 24 years and has held several positions throughout the prison system. Yarnice is an active member of St. Luke AME Church, where she is active in several organizations. She enjoys traveling, spending time with friends, and living life to the fullest. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to get started with our questions on tonight. And you see, we have a variety of panelists on here. Okay, I'm looking for the questions. Oh, where they at? I guess host came up with the question, and I thought I put them in my notes. Okay, I'm gonna find them. Give them a minute. Here we go. Here are our questions. Well, we're about to get started. We're about to talk about being single and being in love, being single and being in relationships, being single and dating during the pandemic. Oh, here go Bishop. Hey,
Amen.
Bishop,
Hey,
how you doing?
Hey.
I'm
You was
good. I am
just
so
in time.
sorry, y'all.
Good. We are so glad to have you on tonight. We just finished up with our introduction. So I'm going to introduce you and I'm going to turn the show over to you. Thank you so much for joining us on tonight and agreeing to be our guest host. I like that background, man.
Well, thank you. I be trying a little bit.
I see. I like that background. Okay. All right. Our guest host on tonight is none other than the Bishop Jamie Johnson. He is a native of Fort Valley, Georgia. This is where he learned his Southern charm. He currently pastors James Temple Miracle Center, located in Fort Valley, Georgia, and White Hill Baptist Church, which is Reynolds, Georgia. Jamie also serves as a regional bishop and the chairman of the House of Bishops for United Covenant Churches of Christ. Mr. Johnson served his local community for 12 years as a local school board member and has worked with the Georgia Department of Corrections as a chaplain for adult males. Jamie has been afforded many opportunities to travel extensively around the United States and even to several countries to preach, uplift, and encourage those that are in need. Jamie is currently enrolled in Lancaster Bible College, where he is studying ministry leadership. And also, I want to add, he is a big fan of the Dallas Cowboys. That's his team. Anytime they are playing, he is front and center in that TV, putting his comments on his Facebook page. And might I add, Bishop Johnson, Jamie, he's single, ladies. He's tall, he's chocolate, and he's handsome. Y'all know that's what we like. So I'm putting him on blast tonight. He participated. Let's see, look, last year when I did a segment with single men, he was one of the guest panelists. So I'm glad to have him back tonight with the single ladies. But I mentioned to them while we was chatting before we started that hopefully later this year I want to come back and do this single panel with ladies and men to talk about it. So, Bishop, it's all in your hands.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, I am excited about doing this and being here and looking forward to this dialogue and conversation. So I did have some questions that we're going to be going through on tonight. And so I'm looking forward to us kind of putting it out there and let everybody know about our wonderful single ladies. Amen. So there's no hose bars during this conversation, right? So we can pretty much go there, right?
Go there, Bishop. Let's talk about it. Let's
All
talk.
right, all right, all right, all right. That's what I like to hear. Okay, so I know on Dr. Whirl, she's already done the introductions and all. And thank you so much, Dr. Whirl, for letting me come and be a part. Um, so I guess I will start off this with this question: Why, as individuals, why do you think you're single as an individual? Like, what is it? I know some may be by choice, divorce, or being a widower. But what are some of those reasons why you have remained single during this season? So, since we don't have a volunteer to come right out the gate, do I need to just pull from my roster?
Pull from your roster, Bishop. Pull
let
from
me
your
pull.
roster.
Let me pull from the roster. All right, all right. So, where my roster go? Okay,
Uh-oh. You found it.
Okay, yeah, I got it. I got it now. I lost it. I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? Okay, so Felicia Goodson,
She just,
she just dropped off.
yeah, dropped off.
Okay, well, let's start with, is this your niece?
This is
Yeah.
your niece.
Okay, all right, your niece Strange.
Okay, my smart aleck answer is probably be if I knew I wouldn't be. But I think in reality, some of it is that I probably had made some poor dating choices in the past. And so I've learned from a lot of those, but the poor dating choices might have been not being clear about the interactions with the person, not being clear whether or not we are dating with intention, or being clear about what the expectations are for relationship or interaction.
That's good. I think that's the reason why I like that is because especially for men, for males, I think is we sometimes because we go through the motion, we kind of feel like, okay, well, they know we're dating. But a lot of times the guys we really don't know. Um,
We don't either.
and And so I think it needs, sometimes it needs to be clear. It needs to be rectified as to, what we're doing. Are we just talking? Are we just getting to know one another? Are we, trying to date or whatever the case may be? So I totally agree with you on that. Anyone else want to jump in on that one?
Well, I just wanted to say that for me, it's by choice. I am divorced. Been divorced now for what, about 7, 8 years, and I just had to work on me. And I knew it was a me problem. A lot of things came out, within my marriage, and I just knew that before I started another relationship or decided to even date, I had to work on me. There were some things that I did not like that came out of my marriage, and I did not want that to be put on another man. So definitely that is by choice because I wanted to work on me.
Right. Okay. So when was the last time y'all been on a date? This for everybody.
Ooh, Bishop.
Last weekend.
Okay. All right now. All right.
Well, for me, I think it was Valentine's Day.
Okay.
Okay.
Probably a couple weeks ago.
Okay. Y'all been
It's been a minute for me, Bishop, since I've been on the date.
so we still on the same. We in the same boat, yes.
But I am open and ready for a date. Open and ready. And back to your first question, this is some of the comments from some of the viewers of being single while you hadn't started dating. Is it by choice or something else? Someone put fear of rejection and being hurt. Someone put work, social life balance, just having that balance with work, having that balance with just work and your social life. I guess with me, I'm single. Well, of course, I'm on the panel. Um, it's not by choice. I do desire to date. I do desire to marry. It has not happened. I have finally realized that I'm picky. I'm very picky. And I think at one point in my life, I probably was too picky and maybe overlooked some nice guys. The relationships that I have been in, they just went sour. So one time I questioned, well, why is everything I'm getting involved with going sour? It wasn't always them. I had to realize it was something that I was doing or not doing. So I fully accept some of the decisions I've made, some of the bad choices, but I'm open. I'm open not to being too picky, but I'm just not gonna date anything. I'm not perfect and I'm not looking for perfection in a man, but I do want somebody that's decent. And I'm still a
Absolutely.
work in progress. We all are a work in progress.
Yeah.
So I
True.
just want to shed light on that.
Okay. Okay. Um, who was that we missed earlier? Felicia.
Yeah, Tanya.
Okay. So Felicia, when was the last time you were on a date?
Mhm.
Okay.
Are you able to hear us, Tanya? Or it may be a lag in her own.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, as as for me, Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Did you hear the question that he asked you, Tanya?
I'm dating now. Um, um. So first off, I am divorced. Yeah, there's a delay in mine.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you, but we can tell that there's a delay in your response with your internet access. We heard the part
Can
you
you hear
said
me?
about you were dating. You talked about you were divorced. Yes, we can hear you.
I'm here.
We hear
Can
you.
you hear us? What we'll do, let's come back to her.
Okay. All right.
Bishop, you like,
I
yeah.
just saw where Portia Evans she posted. She said that I've been
Okay.
told that I'm
I was saying
unapproachable.
I am dating someone.
Okay. Okay. So
Yes, it
there's
is. I am.
Okay.
And as for me, I know like when I first got divorced, I I felt like I just felt like I wasn't, so I kind of.
We missed it.
okay. All right. So I see where Portia Evans she was saying that she's been told that she's unapproachable and that she walk around like she don't need a man. So I know in this day and time, a lot of our sisters are doing very well professionally, building houses, living life. You know, they ain't got to get flued out. They flying out on their own. You know, so
What did get flew out
so
though?
so in that, how do you balance? Because some men like myself, like I still believe in being chivalrous. I still believe in holding the door, opening the door. You know, that's just how I was taught. Now I did long time ago, some years ago. I dated a girl after college, and she told me she's like, "You ain't got to do all that." So that kind of turned me off a little bit with her. But how do you balance that being, being the strong um, black queens that you are, but also allowing the man to, you know that he is needed in a sense.
Hmm.
Oh, let's
For
see.
me, I like chivalry. I think it's a good thing. And I work in a job where I have to be in charge and kind of boss men around and tell them what to do. I don't want to do that in my social life. So I don't want to be the person who is intimidating to guys because just because I work tough, I don't want to be tough in relationship. And so trying to kind of balance that and let them see that, hey, don't be afraid, it's cool. Just
Right.
it can be a challenge sometimes because if they see you in that light, or like if it's people that you come across in a work environment, because I work in prison, it can be challenging where they think that is what you are all the time.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I agree with that. I like that. So someone told me this maybe a few months ago, saying that you should date multiple people at one time. Do you agree, disagree? And I guess the reason why they told me that is because they said, you need to find out who do you really mesh well with. Um, Me personally, I don't think I do well in settings like that because it's hard for me to. I can't multitask. So either I'm in or I'm out. Is one or the other. I can't be over here today and then talking to somebody else tomorrow and somebody else next week. Because then I've been mixed up the two and then said the wrong thing and then now.
Right.
So how do y'all feel about that? That multiple, and I understand what they meant in today's society, and I guess where we are, and how the pandemic has come and changed things. How do you think that works, or should it be an option?
Well, I know for me, I did multiple dating in my unsaved single life. And now that I am saved and I'm a little more mature, I want to focus on that one person. I wouldn't say that I'm ADHD, but too many people, having to conversate with and date and, do different things with, it's just too much for me. I need to be able to focus on that one individual and see where that's going. Now, I will say that, in the very beginning of the dating process, if I see some red flags or I see it's not going that way and it's more so going to be a friendship, then, I let that be and then maybe pick up, again. But it took a while before any guys even approached me to ask me out, and I always ask my question, that same question, am I approachable or not? And after getting the feedback from different individuals, they told me I'm not approachable. Is that because I carry myself in a certain way, they don't want to come at me in any kind of way.
Mm.
But with that being said, yeah, I cannot date multiple people at the same time. It's too time consuming. I mean, I have a job, lesson plans, and all these other things that I have to do. So I don't have time to just carry on 2 or 3 relationships. I need to focus on just that one.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else want to chime in?
For myself, just one at a time because I'm busy. Like Wanda said, I'm in education as well. I'm busy. I also have a part-time job. So I'm just busy. So I can only handle one man at a time. Now, if it's a situation like this going on different dates with different guys, I'm open to that. But once it's established that I'm dating that one, then I'm dating that one. But say if I meet different guys and he asks me out or I may ask him out, well, let's go and meet someone else, and out of that, don't want to get a mix up like you talked about earlier. But once I establish out a couple of dates, what I think I want to date this one, then it'll be just that one that I date.
I agree with that.
I agree.
Okay. So what's your idea of a romantic date?
Ooh, ooh,
Oh
ooh.
my God. Let's see.
First of all, I like to eat, so dinner.
So it ain't gonna be no strawberries and crackers. And no-
I mean, no, I want a meal.
She said she want a meal. Just
I
put it out
want a meal.
there, girl.
Okay.
Because and I don't want to interrupt you. Because when we first started dating somebody, I know in the past, what I would do was, I don't want to really let him know that, I eat. I like to eat. So you order that little bitty sampler thing, and then you don't eat it, and you play with it. No, I'm gonna be real.
No.
I like to eat, and I like to eat really, really well and good.
Absolutely.
So we're going, to the nice restaurant and maybe dimly lit, a little, music playing in the background.
Right.
And I need my ribeye. I need my ribeye.
Take
Yeah.
the
Say it.
ribeye.
Medium well, shrimp on
Okay.
the side, all that good stuff.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I like the ribeye with medium well. We like that. Okay.
Absolutely.
See, I like something a little more personal, or like a day in the park or something where with a blanket and some music and maybe some sandwiches or even ice cream, where it's just kind of the two of you, where you can kind of sit and talk and get to know each other. And I like to eat too, of course, but just something where it's a little more personal, where there's not like a lot of crowds or something, or just kind of a drive in the country, or in a convertible or something that's just about the two of you bonding.
Well, that sounds good too, but still,
Oh, eventually I'm gonna want to eat, but
you gonna eat. No, but I agree with you on that too. But like you said, you want it personable, and you want to be able to get to know that person. So I agree with that too. But I'm just I like a nice atmosphere. Like you said, maybe dimly lit, nice music, and just a nice meal, a ribeye, something, just some good eating, some good food.
Live music, maybe
Nice
some
music,
crystal.
and I like to dance as
Me
well.
too.
So
Okay.
Me too.
yeah,
And
but
for
not
those
all
who are
this.
watching, she's not talking about church dancing. She's talking about,
Right.
Come on now. We know
Hey,
what you're
That
talking
I
about.
had to
music,
make sure,
yeah,
I want
Right.
keep it all the real.
I mean,
right. You can get the little
but
two
yeah,
step in. Get
the little two step, maybe a little hustle.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, but
Okay, okay. So, yes, what's your idea of a romantic date? Or did you tell us already?
I don't just have a set idea of romantic dating. Romantic date. Just listen to what everyone else said. I guess a idea of a romantic date is just spending some time together. Him coming to my place or me going to his place and just tag teaming in the kitchen and cooking a meal together.
Hmm.
That's nice.
that's
I would like
nice.
that, or maybe just riding out to a nice restaurant, maybe going to a concert. I don't know, just a variety of things, or maybe going out for an enchanted weekend somewhere to some type of event. But in that setting, making sure that he and I can spend some quality time together and we can bond and get to know each other and grow from that.
So, now that you say that, it brings me to my next question. And y'all don't be judging us now. Vacations, are they necessary?
Absolutely.
And for those of us that are saved, you know how the stigma has been. So let's address that. Vacations, is it necessary for your relationship before marriage? Um, or let's talk about, how old, I guess, old belief system, living with your partner before getting married, the pros and cons with that. What are some of your thoughts on that?
I believe vacations are necessary.
Mhm.
But the thing with me is it would definitely be different sleeping situations.
Mhm.
But getting somebody out of their usual setting, it helps to just to know the type of person that they are.
Mhm.
To see a different side of them outside of what you normally see. Because normally, when you go off with somebody, you do find out a lot. You learn a lot about somebody just even riding in the car with them. And
True.
yeah, and going out and just socializing with other people. um Now, as far as the living together, I would never do that because I did do a little bit of that before I got married, and we didn't have the counseling that we needed, I believe, that would have stabilized our relationship. So for me, I would say a no. I would not live with that individual because I believe after having dated for some time and getting to know that individual and learning them and they learning me, I think that would be enough for me when we got to that point of marriage, that I would be okay. And plus, I think because I've been married before, I kind of sort of know what to expect, because you're merging these two lives together, and you're the whole dynamic is changing, once you say I do. So for me, no, I would not definitely live with my intended before marriage.
Okay. All right. Anyone else would like to add?
Well, with me, I think vacations are necessary. You know, but living together from personal experience, I don't think I would ever do that again because it was it. Everything starts out good, but then in the end, once you live with that person for a while, you learning their ways, they're learning your ways, and then you may start to bump heads. And disagreements, which every relationship has disagreements, but what, like I said, my personal experience, it didn't turn out well. So I wouldn't live, just live with someone without being married.
Right. Okay.
I think that vacations are good and necessary to just kind of see as you're getting to know each other, how do they like to relax? Are they people who like to, is it a person that likes to be in the mountains? Is it a person that likes to be in warm weather? So I think that kind of helps you learn about them. As far as living together, that is not something that I want for myself, simply because I think it just sort of makes it a little too easy to not fully be honest about intentions. It makes it a little easy to kind of back away if something is a little bit difficult, or to back away if just because, to say, okay, there's no time. Or if now you're living together for 40 years and then one of you gets sick and you get put out the house because you don't have no say in what's happening here.
You
So
don't have
I
to
think,
say.
that's something to consider when you talk about like that in the long term.
Glenda said definitely that.
She sure did, definitely that. And I agree for myself. I would not cohabitate before marriage. That's just something I just would not do. In terms of traveling, most definitely. I would definitely be open to traveling, getaway weekend with the significant other. You know me, with my beliefs. Of course, it would have to be separate rooms, but I think that's necessary to see how you gonna act when you ain't home. How you gonna act in a different environment? I kind of need to see that side of you, and he needs to see that side of me as well.
Right.
So I think that's necessary.
Yeah, I agree, and definitely, making sure I, I do a lot of counseling for couples, and it's
Oh,
crazy because I do a lot of counseling for couples, and I'm not even married, but that's neither here nor there. I was married at one time, but sometimes with guys, if we don't have a goal set in place, then
mhm,
we'll continue to ride that on until
mhm.
we're gonna ride
Absolutely.
it till the wheels fall off. So yeah, I think true intentions have to be in place. So, what is the number one deal breaker for you for a guy? So let me give you an example. My brother, God rest his soul, Yasmin. I think Yasmin know this. So my brother, he would not talk to a girl if they feet were jacked up. So he had like this big foot fetish, and if they feet were jacked up, I don't care how pretty she was in the face, I don't care how wonderful her body was, he was not gonna talk to them because they feet were jacked up. So what is
Mm.
See,
what
Dr.
is the
Yes,
number
that
one?
goes back to what I was
Boomerang,
saying.
boomerang.
I don't know if that's a deal breaker, but it's probably helpful if they nice.
Yeah, right.
Ooh, a deal breaker.
So what's the one deal breaker for you? What's that one thing that if a guy does or has or missing is that one deal breaker for you?
I'm gonna chime in. For me, I like a man to be neat. I like for a man to be neat, clothes iron, clean nails, no ash nowhere. You need to be lotion down. And then, with that being said, it depends on his career field. He could work in
Go ahead,
construction, outdoors. He may have work at an auto shop, but that's different. Once you come home, you gonna be a little dirty, but you need to get in that shower, get cleaned up. And I guess because
Absolutely.
my dad, I think I talked about this before. I grew up in a home with a dad that was just neat. My dad worked at a chalk mine, so when he came home, he was covered in chalk. But Daddy always went to that shower. He got clean in the middle of the day. Daddy would put on cologne because he said he wanted to smell nice when Mama got home from work. So I guess I grew up with a man, my dad, that was just neat. So that just kind of sticks with me. The clothes need to be ironed. I can remember ironing my daddy clothes growing up. And so those things turn me on, and it can turn me off if it's not right. I'm a stickler. Them hands don't need to be ashy. I'm sorry. It just turns me off. Clothes need to be ironed.
Can't
So
you
I
just
have to
offer
be
him some lotion for his hands?
I
Yes,
can,
so he can't be acting
yeah, and I'm
nowhere.
open to that. I mean,
No way.
but it just certain stuff that's deal breaker. For an example, this was maybe 5, 6 years ago. I was attending a church in Dublin, and there was a minister. She's dead and gone now. There was a guy that she worked with. She wanted me to meet. She told me some things about him. I said, okay, I'll meet him. I'm open to that. So we were having some type of revival at church. And that particular night, I was serving as a greeter in the foyer, greeting the guests as they came in. So of course he came in, and he went in. So she brought him back out because I had never seen him, and she introduced me. People's attractive guy, but you know what turned me off? Them clothes was wrinkled.
Oh God.
And my sisters, me and my sister told, they was like, you wrong. You don't know where that man been. He may have been on the road. I said, but you coming to meet somebody, them clothes need to be ironed. I'm sorry. Stuff is turned. And I guess, earlier I talked about I'm picky. So yeah, those are my deal breakers.
I can see that on the first date. Put your best foot forward. Yeah.
Right.
Well, I feel that way too. And with me being in the fashion industry per se, as a licensed hairstylist, it's with me, it's about presentation. Because the way I look at it, being a hairstylist, if my head's jacked up, who's gonna let me do their hair?
Mm-hmm.
Who's gonna want me to do their hair?
Right.
So if I'm meeting you for the first time, or I'm going on a date with you, like you said, I'm gonna put my best foot forward, which that's me all the time. And Dr. Yaz knows me like on a personal level, and she knows that's the kind of woman I am. I love my fashion. I love my clothes. I love my makeup, my hair. I keep my nails, and I do keep my feet on point.
Me too.
That's a must. But I would want him to do the same, to show me the same courtesy if I'm going to do, those things. If I'm going to be out in public or going on a date or just hanging out with him, I'm going to, like you said, put my best foot forward. So I expect that from him, case in point, I tried, not saying dated, but I tried to date someone that every time we decided to go out to eat or something, he was like, first thing he said, well, I know you're going to dress up, but I ain't putting on no clothes. I'm like, I don't want to go then. And I didn't go. I mean, I don't know if that sounds harsh, but if I'm going the extra mile, why can't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, that I understand you fully, Dr. Yaz, about that part, because if I'm putting that extra effort, first of all, I'm doing it for self. I'm not doing it for him. I'm doing it for myself because that's the kind of person I am, and that's how I was raised. But if you're really not a person that goes out, because this person doesn't go out, it's not real social. So once we started being friends, and I kind of exposed them to a lot of things, like going out to eat, going places, doing different things, and he wasn't used to it. And I understood that, but at the same time, once you've done it enough, you should be able to get on board and just get with the program. Really, honestly.
Yeah.
Exactly. My two things: body odor and bad breath.
Absolutely.
That's no. We can't
Okay.
talk. We can't hug. We can't do anything.
Nothing.
Sorry. Sorry.
All right.
Put it out there, one. You're right about that, girl.
Wanda doing it slick. I'll just say, would you like a piece of gum?
Right.
Yeah. Hopefully he'll catch on.
Right.
But then if it keeps happening, then now is another problem.
That's another whole different horse with a different color.
Right.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay. Did we get everybody on that one?
Oh, okay. So cheap. Cheap is an issue. And now I think kind of the way they feel about God.
Oh yeah.
So that's an interesting thing too. I remember they don't necessarily have to be a person that goes to church every Sunday, because we all know that church every Sunday is predominantly women. A man can go and meet a woman, but for a woman thinking that she's going to meet a man at church is kind of slim to none. But
Pretty much.
I think he needs to have some kind of connection to God
Yes.
that is similar to mine. So I don't want anybody that's so extreme in their walk with God,
Right,
or
right.
somebody that's just whatever either. And so having a balance with that can be a deal breaker, whether you know what your belief is. Cheap is worse than broke every day to me. It is, because you know, if somebody's broke, you can kind of understand, like, okay, I'm trying, but cheap is like, I'm just not gonna do. I'm just, oh, that's high. No, you know, enjoy life sometime. How many times you gonna get to go to this place or do this thing?
Right.
So, you
Right.
know, I don't necessarily believe in just, you know, I think, you know, being financially responsible is a good thing, but you just not doing or holding back from yourself because, oh, that sounds like it costs too much. That's irritating. No.
Yeah, I agree with you there because I'm one of those. I like nice stuff. So if you know, I yeah, cheap. Yeah, that'll probably be one of mine too. Yeah. Okay. So which one of these do you think is more important in a marriage or relationship? Sacrifice or communication?
Hmm.
That's a hard one, but
That
I
is a
would
hard
think
one.
communicating. Me personally, I think communication.
Okay.
You know, in every relationship, I mean, in life, you make sacrifices. So, I mean, just communicating and talking, and like I said, again, I'm speaking from personal experience.
Right.
And in my experience, a lack of communication cost us the relationship.
Yeah.
So I think communication.
Yeah. And I think learning how to communicate with that individual
Mm.
Learning
is
how to.
very important. I was doing a session before that. I think I said that a few times already. But I think a lot of times people don't realize that during those sessions, the reason why we have those sessions is to help you communicate.
Mm.
Um, and and the reason why sometimes the communication is such a big stumbling block is because most times we are listening not to comprehend,
Hmm.
but listening to respond. And a lot of times that's the downfall of the whole communication piece. So I
Right.
agree with you on that.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I would agree with her as well. Communication is key in any relationship because, especially if we're going to enter into a marriage, something long term, because I am looking for something long term, not just, anything fly by night. I have to be able to talk to you for the rest of our lives. So if we're not talking and not just talking at each other, actually having deep conversation, um, just, letting all holes barred and just telling me what is it that you need from me? What do you need from me? Because I'm going to tell you what I need from you. I
Absolutely.
need you to, tell me what not and the notes and letters and that type of thing. I like that too, but there comes a point in time that I need you to look at me in my eyes and just talk to me. Talk to me,
Right.
tell me what, is bothering you, tell me what I've done to make, hurt your feelings. Just let me know my part in the situation because, there's two ways.
Right.
You can hurt and the person can hurt you as well. And if I don't know that I've done that, because I have a way sometimes of, being nice, nasty, and I'm working on that. God is working on me. He is. So I need to know if you can't handle that type of thing, then that's something that I need to work on. And and I like joking and playing around, whatever, but I
Right.
know sometimes words can hurt and you may not mean them the way you said them, but
Mm.
you have to know what the other person, how the other person perceived what you said. And that was one of my issues as well in my past relationship, is that the communication piece was missing.
Right.
For me, I think that I couldn't really find a way to rank them, because I think that there's kind of a balance. So communication is key, and you have to learn how to speak to each other, how that person reacts when they're upset or when they're happy or sad. So you need open communication to recognize those things. But I also think that you kind of need sacrifice because of the balance. So if they're sliding or slipping or down low a little bit as their partner, you want to be the person that kind of lifts them up, it may be a struggle to meet them where they are in that time and space. So you might have to sacrifice a little bit and say, well, it's not my favorite thing or favorite place to be, but because I'm supporting you, then I might have to sacrifice this other thing for this time being. But being able to communicate that helps helps you want to make the sacrifice, or at least it should, so that you have the support that goes with
Right.
both of them.
Right.
But with the sacrifice, it needs to be equal. Don't
Absolutely.
not just one person doing all the sacrificing.
Absolutely.
You know,
Right.
me being the person that I am, I'm always giving in. I'm always going the extra mile for. I'm doing things that I don't want to do just for that purpose, just sacrificing, and trying to keep peace and make things work. It needs to be equal.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
That's true. That's true.
So comments in the chat. Oh, was someone about to say something?
I was, but go ahead.
Okay, so comments in the chat that we'll turn it back over to Wanda is open communication is key. That's something someone has said during the discussion. Someone else said communication is key. Oftentimes we listen and don't hear, and hear and don't listen. Okay, Wanda.
I was just gonna piggyback off of what you just said. Sacrifice is also a big important piece of a relationship, and it goes two ways. That one person shouldn't have to sacrifice more than the other person, because
Right.
when that happens, you lose your sense of self, and
Mhm.
then the relationship just becomes about you pleasing that other person,
Right.
and then you're being left out. Because and that can easily happen, especially when you are in a relationship where the person is, I mean, it's like you're walking on eggshells, because you don't know, what's going to set this person off. And, he
Right.
said something the last time that, he reacted a little scary. So then you feel yourself backing up, and then, you lose who you are in the relationship. And it basically becomes about the other person. And you never want to do that. That's why I say communication is a key part, because I'm going to tell you, look, sir, that's not how we're going to do this. This is how you said this. I perceived it to be that way. Now, if you don't want me to think that way, then I need you to change the narrative.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And because you have a person that's always sacrificing, it can also make them feel empty at a point that
Mm-hmm.
they're doing everything in order to make it work, but they're not receiving, from that other person. So I do agree with you on that. So I'm sure we might have some guys watching, or might have some guys that will watch. So I don't want y'all to be scared, guys. I don't want y'all to be scared at all. But what if there's a guy that's watching or will watch this and they want to reach out to you? What will it take to get you off the market?
Woo.
Hot question. Whoa.
Ooh.
I'll chime in. What will it take to get me off the market? I'm open to coming off the market at any time. Um, but with that, honesty,
Definitely.
availability. Will I be the only one? Are you willing to date a minister? I have boundaries, things I will and will not do. Accepting me for who I am, and just getting to know each other. And the question you asked before about what's more important than marriage, sacrifice, and communication. We're going to have to be able to communicate and talk. I'm a certified counselor. I work in a public education system, so I communicate all day long, and I enjoy what I do. And over years, I have learned from just having to counsel students, parents, or just being a part of various teams. A lot of times, confusion happens when something has not been properly communicated. So communication is key. So I won't be hard to get, but like I say, I am picky. I'm working on that. I'm working on it. I had said something earlier, and my sister put in the comments, Kim, LMBO. Well,
Oh yeah, I saw that.
because they know I am. So I'm open. I'm open.
We just need to make sure he got a good bottle of lotion.
And his clothes are ironed.
And his clothes are ironed. So listen here, brother. If you
Go
need
get some
help
Vaseline.
in an ironing class, come holler at your boy. Okay, all right. Who want to go next? What will it take to take you off the market?
Clear intentions,
Ooh.
honesty, a good sense of humor, someone who can have fun and not be grumpy. A grumpy person is so hard on your spirit to just, find the worst in everything. No. Having time, having the desire to be, to give as much as you receive, to be willing to sacrifice, to be open to discussion, to be open to understanding the way each of us communicates, and kind of, just be willing to try and do some new things.
Okay. Y'all hear that, guys? All right.
It helps if it's easy on the eyes too, but
Most definitely. Yes.
I would say, because most guys, when they find out that you are in the ministry and you have a title, they tend to be a little reserved. I'm all about loving God and worshiping God and praising God, but when we're together and when we are trying to build on something, that's not the major focus. So I don't want anyone to be uptight, and I want them to be open to being in a relationship with me, because normally when you say that, not first, because I don't lead with that, maybe later on, I may say that, you find some men, they tend to back up like, I can't date no preacher. But you have to understand that we are human first, number one. I love to laugh. I love to have fun. I like to go out to eat, and I like to go dancing. I just like to do a variety of things. So a person that's open to just, being themselves and just having fun. Jokes and love laughing and communication and that type of thing. So I just want them to be open and receptive to me.
Right.
Get to know me.
I think that's, for the most part, is me as well. Just being open to new things. Get out of the norm. What you're used to. What you're used to as a single person when you're dating someone else is sometimes not the same thing. Especially if you're coming from different levels. So be open to doing something different, respecting that person, and just being honest, and just, like I said, open to having a good time together, learning one another, spending time together, and most, like you said, communicating, and letting that person know their likes and dislikes, or if that's something they're willing to do or not willing to do, but basically just being open to different things.
Yeah. So guys, y'all hear this now. So another thing, I'm trying to go ahead and hip y'all to the game so y'all already know what to do when you go ahead and hit these DMs. That's what I'm trying to do. So um what's your love language? Do you know your love language?
Um,
I think I kind of like them all, but I think primarily maybe physical touch because I like it when a guy is holding my hand when we go in a restaurant or he touches my back to lead me through the door. I like that. I also like acts of service. So that kind thing that you do to show that you're thinking of, because it doesn't have to be a big thing. It can be something as simple as, I washed your car. Oh, okay, you washed my car. Or, sometimes those things can be as special, more special sometimes than buying a purse.
Right.
mhm.
Right. I think so. Just small things.
Okay.
With
What do
me,
you?
quality time.
Yeah,
Quality
definitely.
time is important. Words of affirmation
I like
Right.
that too. I like them
and
all.
physical touch. Yeah, I like that physical touch too.
I would say words of affirmation as well and quality time. Now I know I'm fine, but I like to hear it a lot too.
Okay. Okay.
That's always good, right? You look nice today. Exactly.
Yeah,
I like them all.
And effort.
Yeah.
definitely.
Effort.
Yes.
So do you think you guys are ready for what you're asking God for?
Ooh.
You think you've positioned yourself to receive it? Are you in that season to receive?
I'm not
I,
certain.
go
Not
ahead.
The only reason I'm not certain is because I think I'm kind of in transition where I'm going to be retiring soon and maybe moving to another state. And so, in that transition of that, I don't want to necessarily put someone in a position where they have to think about whether or not they want to have started something long distance or something like that. Outside of that part, I think that I am because I think that I've learned from past interactions and things. So I think that I'm ready for something new and interesting and different.
Okay.
I would say that I believe that I am. And for that reason, you have to first in your mind be a wife. You have to know that
Mhm.
you're a wife before you actually become a wife.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that's one of the main things that my pastor and my bishop have, honed for some months. You have to be what you want to become later. So with that being said, I am positioning myself to let a man, come into my life and do the things that he needs to do for me as a husband. So I know my place. I know what I need to be doing. And I think that helps too because I had, a previous marriage and I know what I did that was not quite right. And I know some things that, I could have done better to make it better. So, for months now, because I have not dated, like I said, it probably 7 to 8 years. This year is when I currently started dating, somebody. And I always ask myself, why in the world did it take so long? Because, like I said before, I know I'm fine. But
Okay.
why did it take so long for me to, meet somebody and start dating somebody? And the Lord said, because you weren't ready. I had
Mhm.
to work some things out of you and work some things through you in order so that you wouldn't do the same thing to this new person that happened in past relationships. So he had to grow me up out of what I was in before in order for me to know that, okay, yeah, I'm ready. I love being single because I love myself. I love dating myself. I love going out. I love shopping and all of that. But I want to share those things with someone else. Now, I do desire to be married. If I don't get married, I'm not going to fall apart. I'm not going to, just, commit suicide and things of that nature, because you have some people that cannot be by themselves. They need to have somebody else. But I've learned in my years, and I'm 47 years old, I've learned over the years that I love me, and I can
Mhm.
still just be with me and be okay. Yes,
Mhm.
I do want to be married, but if I don't, I'm okay still.
Good
Right.
answer.
Yeah.
I'll chime in, Bishop, to answer the question. I'm ready. I'm ready for love. I'm ready for love to find me. I'm ready to find love. So yeah, I am ready for what God has for me. I am ready for what I desire. I am ready for what I have petitioned the Lord for. And I do have a comment on Miss Felicia Latanya Goodson. She was with us at the beginning. Unfortunately, she was unable to get logged back on due to some connectivity issues she had. But we just want to give a shout out to her for her impart of what she did share at the beginning of the show.
Right. Right. Okay. All right. Do we have time for maybe one more or a couple of more?
Let's do one more because it's about 9:16.
Okay. All right. Let's see. So, are you all open to online dating, or are you strictly the old school, you know, way? Like for me, I can't really get into the online dating thing because it just is not as personal as I want it to be.
Right.
So, but it's the new thing now. It's almost like the new fad now. So, are you okay with online dating? Will you try it, or are you more of the old school approach?
I prefer old school, but I have done online dating before and it went well for me. So I didn't have any terrible experiences with it. Um, but there's something about coming across a person is that I like better, but I'm not opposed to it. I don't do it now currently, but I'm not opposed to it.
Me
Um,
personally, I'm old school, and it's just too much for me. I've tried, the dating site, and don't get me wrong, I upload my pictures, and I love taking pictures, and I love doing my makeup, and so, like you said, Miss Wanda, I'm fine,
That's it.
fine, fine.
Yeah.
So
Bad.
I get a lot of feedback. I get a lot of comments, and but like you said, I want to be approached.
mm,
Yeah.
I want that person to person interaction, versus someone seeing your profile and the first thing they holler, put on your message you or DM you or whatever they call it. Cause I'm old school. Uh, sub or
Yeah.
hey baby, you don't know me from a can of paint. So why are you coming at me like that first and foremost?
Mm-mm.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had some, I had some that said nice pics. You're a beautiful lady or you're a beautiful woman. Can I get to know you? And then, instead of you letting me know about yourself, since we're, chatting or whatever, you go to say, let me get your number. No. Let's chat some. First of all, let me get used to being online because I don't do online for one. Let me get used to that first. And then maybe we can exchange numbers and have a conversation over the phone and then go from there. But I prefer face to face, versus being online. It's just, and then it's scary because
Yeah.
you don't know who you're interacting with or talking with or chatting with online. You could be a serial killer,
Mm-hmm.
but
mm.
you don't know that because he's behind the screen and you are. So, it's a safety thing too. I think that's just my personal opinion. I'd rather just do the old way.
Yeah.
For me, I have tried online dating. This was This was years ago. I was probably in my early 30s. How old am I? I'm 40. Think about it.
47.
Max just had a birthday this month.
All right,
47.
classmate.
I'm 47. But yeah, probably in my early 30s, I tried it, which was years ago, and it just didn't work. It was two different guys. And it just didn't work. But I do prefer old school face to face.
Yeah.
Old school face to face for me as well. I'm not opposed to online, but yeah, it's too many crazy people out there.
It is, and it's just too much for me. I'm serious.
Yeah.
I don't have time to be going through all these DMs and inboxes and responding to each and every one of them. And then when you don't respond, then they want to come across
They get
and
mad.
come at you sideways and
Right.
crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
Nah.
Yeah, that is true. That's why I don't like it either. I think I was traumatized by my first marriage because that's how I met my first.
Oh God.
So
Oh,
yeah,
Jesus.
I think I'm still traumatized by
They just say
from that.
traumatized.
Oh.
Well, being that, I mean, I was married. I'm a widow. I've been a widow for 12 years, and back in the 90s, it wasn't online. I met my husband in a club. I did, and he was drunk out of his mind. He didn't know me. He didn't know I was watching him. None of that. And it was hard for me being there in the same place with him to just walk up to him and ask him what his name was. So I said that to say that about, online. It was hard for me to walk up to him in person and then, seeing him, and able to actually be there right in front of him versus somebody behind a screen. It's a difference. And it was hard for me just to walk up to him. I had to get my girlfriend to go get him for me. But I spoke that thing because when my husband passed away, the same girlfriend came to see me and she said, "Do you remember that night we were at the club?" And I said, "Yeah." She said, "You told me, go get him. That's going to be my husband." She said, "You spoke that thing into existence." I said, "I knew he was going to be my husband. And we were married for 15 years. And had God not called him home, we would be working on 27 years."
Wow.
Wow,
That's sweet.
that's amazing.
Yes.
That's amazing. And like I guess when you're in those stages, you can actually tell who is marriage material or not.
Mm.
So that's why, like, even when I have gone on dates in the past, that first date I'm very intentional because we ain't finna go on, we ain't finna get too many ribeyes on my account, and
Right.
we ain't going nowhere.
It ain't working.
You gotta get a rib out from the Denny's.
Right, you better go on and get that first one because we need to make sure you go be the second one.
Right.
But I think intentionally we always know it's like something on the inside of us that connects, and we know that person could be or is, and is whether we're willing to do the work in order to make it happen. So,
That's it. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Dr. Yaz, I feel like I could talk to y'all all night.
You're a great communicator. That's a plus for you, Bishop. You're easy to talk to.
That's a big plus.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
But yeah, something that I had thought about, and maybe I can get with Dr. Yaz and some others. I know a lot of the singles in this area have been wanting to do stuff, especially Christian singles,
Mhm.
and so it was brought to my attention about doing something like a speed date night. You
Oh,
know, they did one some years ago here in Macon, I think, some years ago, and but something that maybe we can put together, because I mean, you never know. I think a lot of times, sometimes we remain single because we don't put ourselves in situations that will cause us to catch somebody's eye or to, to see other people. And so I think I heard somebody say that they would just go and get dressed up and go to the grocery store just to go to see if they would run into somebody's, because you never know.
You never know.
That's
So,
true.
Stay on point.
Stay on point. You're right about that.
so I'm
Stay
a,
on
I'm a, I'm
point.
gonna dress up a little bit more now, because I'm gonna be more intentional when I go out.
Be
Right.
more intentional. Be
And
more
make sure your
Right.
clothes iron.
Make sure they iron and make
You
sure I
get
got my
pretty
lotion.
lotion.
Take your
See, I
breath.
got I got lotion here at the desk.
Yes. And by all means, keep the lotion. But I feel you, Dr. Yes, because I just no, 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 no. Ash, no.
It's a turn off for me, you know.
Very much so.
And what I shared earlier with what we're joking about now, I make sure I'm lotion down. I lotion down every day. I make sure the breath is fresh. I'm smelling nice. I make sure
Smelling
my clothes
good.
are iron. So what I'm expecting, I make sure I carry that out as well.
Right. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Well, we're going to bring this to a close. Thank you so much, Bishop Jamie Johnson of Macon, Georgia, for being our guest host on tonight. Thank you for hanging out with the ladies on tonight.
Yes.
Single ladies, love, relationships, and dating. A big thank you to Evangelist Wanda Caples, Miss Felicia Latanya Goodson, Miss Tina Ville Morel, and Miss Yarnice Strange. Thank you all so much for taking the time out of your schedule for joining in on tonight. A big thank you to the audience that hung in there with us. We was a little late getting started, but that's okay. We got started. We have had a blast, have had some great dialogue tonight on just about dating, what we want, what we desire, what we would tolerate. We talked about vacation and other things. But thank you all so much for tuning in on tonight. And
Thanks for
stay
listening.
tuned for next month of what we'll be featuring on next month.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for
Yes,
having me.
This
yes,
was
yes,
fun,
yes.
ladies and
Awesome.
gentlemen.
But y'all have a super week, super week.
You do the same.
All
Thank
right.
Same.
you.